Well, the SuperKilen project is really probably our most important project that we have realized in the last 20 years. And the reason it is the most important project is to start with, maybe because also of the collaboration we had with Big and Superflex, and it was a very fructifying collaboration. It was a very competitive collaboration, but one that actually potentiated everyone, so everyone became more of what they were or were supposed to do. The competition in the team created a sensation that you have to be more TOPOTEK, or you had to be more Big, or you had to be more Superflex to survive this kind of environment. So that was a kind of a new experience to me, because I was used to collaborations that were maybe less competitive, maybe more collaborative, maybe in the end. And in the beginning I thought it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but then in the end, and it was a pain in the ass too, but in the end I think that the outcome of it is very good. No? So that also because in the process of the collaboration, I think that everyone accepted when the best idea was on the table. The concept for us had like different foundations. One of them was the idea, what means actually immigration, what means immigration today, and how could this park be a kind of an analogy to that. And one of the things that we liked was the idea of translation, that when you go from one place to another, you start translating issues, you learn a new language, you translate your own language into the new language, and we thought, and that happens also with your body, you change also your body language, and also, by the way, also your face changes, depending on the language that you mostly speak on a daily basis, because of the muscles you use for the different languages, also your face changes. So the idea that there is not only a mental change, but also a formal change, we thought could be a strategy also for developing the project. And the idea was, so if people move from place to place and change, what happens to objects? What happens to the real life that they left behind them? Because when you migrate, you take yourself, maybe have 2 bags with you, but you don't have the objects of every day. You don't have this kind of normality that surrounds you if you stay in a place. So the idea was to try to transport these objects from the different cultures into Copenhagen, but not only translocate them one-to-one, but translate them. The second foundation, so to use the rich history of landscape architecture and update it today. So instead of the temple, today it's maybe the advertisement or the billboard, but the idea that you can translocate or translate objects and ideas from different places and create with that a new reality, a hyper-reality kind of thing, that always kind of twists between real and fake. And the third foundation for us was maybe this kind of social idea of emancipation of objects and uses. In the moment where you put objects in the landscape that belong to other cultures, and you create also new uses for the public space. For example, a boxing ring that we brought from Thailand in a public space in the Nordic countries is a very unusual object for different reasons. One is that people might be scared of the violence behind it, but in Thailand it's a standard. Okay, so what happens if an object like that changes place? But also what happens when you accept the fact that you are working in a neighborhood where violence is an issue. So we said, for us the concept was actually to, instead of trying to pacify the situation, we said it would be actually great if we could use this violence as part of the character of the place. So in the case of the boxing ring, if you think, if there's a fight on bare ground and I punch your face, that's a crime. I would go to jail, probably would have to pay you something for the injuries I caused you. But if you do the same thing 40 centimeters above ground with some strings around them, then it becomes sports. Okay? And this shift, let's say, in how to cultivate conflicts, not avoid conflicts, not repress conflicts, but how to cultivate them to make them more acceptable and giving them a chance in a dynamic to change the situation of a neighborhood.